Algebraic fraction and simplifying. So what this module actually involves is you have to factorise first, and then once you've factorised it, then you can cancel. Now, why can you actually do that? Well, basically, if you think about this, say I had 3 times 6 and I had a 3 on the bottom. 3 times 6 is 18. 18 divided by 3 is 6. See, that works. Okay, that's all good. And I can also see how I did the top and then I divided by the bottom. If I used a cancelling method, like if I said 3 goes into 3, then I'll also get 1 times 6, which is 6. But if that was just like a minus or a plus in the middle over 3, let's see how that works. Can I just basically cross the 3's out and get 6? Does that actually work? See, 3 plus 6 on 3. Let's do it the order of operations way. 3 plus 6 is 9. 9 divided by 3 is 3. See how that does not work? So if it is a plus, you can't simply cancel. If it was a minus, the same thing. You wouldn't be able to cancel. Division, the only time you could cancel the division is if you divided it into the first number. So we don't want to be going to do that. So what we do is the reason that we factorise is because when we factorise, we're creating a multiplication. And when we create a multiplication, then we're able to cancel fractions. The same as if you go back to your basic fractions, like, 12 on 16, you get 4 times 3, and that's 4 times 4. It allows you to cancel the 4s and just get 3 over 4. That's basically what you're doing, dividing the same number into the top and the bottom. So that's the process we're doing here. So the first thing that we do here, say you have this one here. What goes into 16 than 4, the highest common factor? Well, that would be 4. So 4 times 4x is 16, and 4 times 3 over 4. And you take out the common factor. So 4 times 4x and plus 4 times 3 over 4. The 4's will cancel, and you get 4x plus 3. It's actually over 1 because 4 goes into 4 ones, but you don't need the 1 on the bottom. Okay, you're looking at number 2. They're doing exactly the same thing. Let's see what they did. Did they do anything wrong? So Nick and Nicole answered the question both in different ways. Oh, they both got the same thing. See, Nick's factorised it first, and Nicole has cancelled it, but because she's cancelled into every single term, then it was okay. Because when you're cancelling every term, you're really cancelling out a common factor. Okay, so Nicole found explain Nicole's method for simplifying. So Nicole's method, she more or less, if you think about this, what she's doing here is she's dividing the 6 into the 6x, and then she's dividing the 6 into the 12, and then she's dividing the 6 into the 18. It's just like splitting a fraction. If you have 2 plus 3 on 7, that's the same as 2 on 7 plus 3 on 7. So I can split it across the different denominators. Then if you look at that, then basically she's like, that's why her method works. 6 goes into 6 once, 6 goes into 12 twice, and 6 goes into 18 3. So you get 1x, which is just x, minus 2y, plus 3z. So because she has divided into every term, then she's okay to go. It's much easier just to take a common factor out of each of them and then cancel, as Nick did. So below, some students attempted to simplify algebraic fractions in the same way as Nicole did. In each case, they have a mistake. So usually when they're doing Nicole's method, their mistake would be not to divide it into every term, like that one, see? I'll let you find the mistake in that one. There could be, and have they made one in this one? Have a think about it. So when you're doing any of these, so say we're doing this one here, some of these it's not straight out like let's factorise and cancel, because they've got an extra set of brackets in there. So when you're doing these sort of ones, what you need to do first, PB over 8p, you need to expand your brackets first. So 2 times 12 is 24p squared. 2 times 4 is minus 8p. 4 4s are 16pb. So plus 16pb. Okay, and that's over 8p. So you simplify. Are there any like terms there? So if you look at this, you can see they're all different terms, aren't they? That's a p squared, a pb, and a p. So now, are there any common factors? Well, what's the highest common factor? I think it might be 8. So you got 8 times 3p squared, 8 times p, plus 8 times 2pb, all over 8p. There is also a common factor of p. You can see that's p squared, so you just take 1p out and 1p out. And there is a common factor of 8. So I'm just going to take the common factor of the 8 and the p out each time. So let's take the 8 and the p. So 8 goes into 24. So you got 8. Let's get a better colour. 8 and then p. So looking at this, 8 times what will give you the 24p squared? 8 times 2, p times p is p squared. 8 times what gives you the minus 8p? Now you can't put a 0 there because 8 times 0 is 0 and it disappears. So you've got to put a 1 there. When you take the whole thing out, put a 1. 8 times 1 is 8p. 8 times what gives you 16pb? 8 times 2, and the p came out, so it's b, and then it's all over 8p. So the 8p cancels with the 8p, and you'll end up with, just quickly, so the 8p cancels with the 8p, and you end up with 3p minus 1 plus 2b. So be careful, even with, see the one above, you've got 3j on the bottom and you've got a 6. There's an extra factor of j in there that you really should take out, because otherwise you're not going to have anything to cancel. These ones here, you're just factorising and cancelling. They kind of look okay. But when you're doing this one here, you see that, we'll just get rid of this. You see there's a 3j. So, I want you to expand it first, or you could just take the j out if you can see that. 6 4s are 24j squared, minus 2 6s are 12jk, and then 6 6s are 36k squared j. And that's all over 3j. And then once you've done that, then you need to factorise. Okay, so 24, 12 and 36. 12 is the highest common factor. Take a j out. 12 times what is 24? 12 times 2, j. 12 times what is 12? 1. We don't need to write the 1. K, because there's a k there. 12 times 3 is 36. K squared, and then you took one of the j's out, because there's a j in each of them. All over 3j. So the j will cancel with the j, and the 3 will go into the 12 4 times. So you have a choice here. You could leave it factorised like that, or you could even then expand it and simplify it. 4 2s are 8j, 4 k's are 4k, and 4 times 3 is 12k squared. So just make sure you're careful to get all the way through to the end. You'll be doing similar things, like if you look at this very last one, h. Okay, so with h, so let's expand it. 8ba, 8b times ba, 8, b times b is b squared a. 8 times 2 is 16, so that's 16. B times b. Now, there are 3 b's there, so it's actually b cubed. Okay, and then let's do the next part. So we go 4, go minus. 4 6s are 24. A, and then b times b is b cubed, all over 4b squared. So when you're looking at this, you're looking at what is the highest common factor. So first of all, let's look at the 8, 16 and 24. So that would be 8. And then if you look at the b's there, you've got b squared, b cubed and b cubed. Okay, so b squared and b cubed. In b cubed actually has a factor of b squared. So if you take out the one with the lowest indices, so it's b squared, it will be contained in the other one. There's no common factor of a because there's no a in the middle one. 8 times 1 is 8b squared times a. That would have to be a. Okay. And then 8 times 2 is 16. We took out a b squared, so that's b. And then 8 times 3 is 24. 24 times, we didn't take an a out because that wasn't common, but we would need here another b because we're going to make a b cubed. And b times b squared is b cubed because it's b times b times b. There's 3 b's, so that's b cubed. All right, so that is all over what? The all over, what's on the bottom? 4b squared. So now we can cancel. 4 goes into 8 twice. B squared cancel with b squared. And now we're able to expand this. 2 times a is 2a. 2 times b is 4b. And 2 times 3 is minus 6a. So just one final one here. So expanding this. 2 12s are 24. So that'll be 24. X times x is x squared. Plus 2 4s are 8. X times x squared is x cubed. 8 times 8xyx times x squared would be minus, because it's a minus 8. Y, x times x squared is x cubed, because that would be 3 x's, 2 in the x squared and 1 in the other one. Minus 8xy times x. So minus 8 times the 1 out the front would be minus 8. Notice the sign change. Minus times plus is a minus. Y and x times x is x squared. And that's all over 6x squared. So what would be a common factor here? It would be 8. And then we have x. Now, as a practice, if you're thinking about what to take out, you always take out the lowest common indice. So, because if you do that, the x squared is actually contained in the x cubed. So take out x squared, not x cubed. So take the x squared out. 8 times 24 is 3, and the x squareds come out. 8 times 1 is 8, and then you won't need the 1. And then x squared times x cubed is x, so it's like 1x, which becomes x. 8 times 1 will give you 1 there, and then it'll be y. And then because we've got x squared, we've got to get an x cubed, so you need an x. And the other one's 8 times 1 again, so we don't really need these ones. I'll put them in anyway. We took out the x squared, so we've just got the y, and we just don't need the 1s in there. And that is all over 6x squared. Okay, so looking at that now, the x squared cancels with the x squared. The 6 and the 8, they have a common factor. Into 6, 2 goes 3 times, and into 8, 2 goes 4 times. Okay, then we now we've got 4, 3 plus x minus y, x minus y. So this is a question that just keeps giving. We haven't finished yet. Then expand this, so that would have been 3 there. 4 3s are 12, 4 x's are 4x, 4yx is minus 4yx, 4 times y is 4y, and all over 3. So you have to leave the 3 on the bottom because there's nothing to cancel it out with. So it just stays as a fraction.